What's going on, college football fans? It's another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jerome Jones, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good, man. Football is in full swing. High school, college, and NFL is finally here all at one time, and I'm glad for it. I'm so happy right now. Ray, how you feeling right now? I know it's a rough week for you, but how you feeling?
I'm feeling good about the NFL. I'm glad it's college football season, but
Yeah,
my team's 0-2, so what am I going to do about that, you know?
let's just talk about it. Get the elephant right out the room, man.
You got it.
Notre Dame from 8 to 40, man, falls down the rankings, man. What happened? You were at the game. You actually went up to Notre Dame, to their stadium, or you were there. What did you see, man? They lost to Marshall, man. Like, what is it that you? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Jerome, we talk about a lot about, and you kind of pick on me when I talk bad about corners, but to me, corners and wide receivers are the same thing. They're like the fringe. The little rose petals on the end of the cake, dude. They're not what you win games with, dude.
That analogy, though.
it's not. In other words, it's not the meat of the cake. It's not the main part of the cake. It's just like it looks good. It's like people always talk about, like when they talk about recruiting, they talk about the wide receivers and the quarterbacks and the running backs, and Notre Dame's offensive line got dominated the whole game, and that's why they lost.
Yeah. And I can fall into that as well, because during the recruiting you start looking at all these teams that got all these wide receivers and all these DBs, and you're like, man, like, wow. And you start ranking them higher, and then you're looking at the offensive line. So that's definitely a thing. I mean, you see how Clemson was the last year and a half now. They haven't been that great because of their offensive line, honestly. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Definitely, man.
Notre Dame had a 15-12 lead going into the fourth quarter, and then Marshall just basically dominated Notre Dame's offensive line and defensive line too, to a certain extent.
Definitely. So falling out of grace, man. I mean, like I said, you guys were you started this season 8, then you fell down to 14, I believe it was, and now you're only at 4, right? Having 2 losses on your record, I mean, is there any way you guys can make the playoffs now without a
No. It's not only that, they lost to Marshall, which, as we spoke about earlier, Marshall is a good team.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that they're a good enough team that Notre Dame should have lost to them. I mean, I'm wrong.
Oh, Don, I love the photo of Jerome from Martin. That's my name. Obviously, I appreciate it. That's funny. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that's funny. Okay, Ray.
But I mean, Marshall's a good team. They are, but Notre Dame should not lose to Marshall. And when you lose to Marshall, you get what you get.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Remy says, no playoffs. No playoffs are over. No playoffs are over. It's Marshall. If it was another top 5 team, we still in.
I mean, honestly, if you lose 2 games, you're not going to make the playoffs anyway, no matter who you lost to. Yeah. But the fact that they lost to a Marshall team who's a good team.
Yeah.
But they lost to a team that, like, they were favored by, like, double digits to.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. It's just
definitely. We're gonna definitely talk about it, because the Sun Belt Conference was just pinning on people all week. I mean, it was pinning on people. I don't know what's going on with the Sun Belt. Maybe they got something in that water now, getting those new teams.
I mean, what you see with Marshall is they're a team that's been together for like 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. They have some older players. Notre Dame has a lot of young players on the team right now. And let's face it, they played like it. They literally Tyler Buckner really struggled. Now he's hurt. He's out for at least a few games. I think possibly even the rest of the season. And we were hoping that he was going to develop. And really, after they lost the game last week, my thought was, well, now we got to see if the offensive line can get better. We got to see if Tyler Buckner can get it better. And then the news comes out that he's going to probably miss the rest of the season. So this season's a wash. Like my season is it's not over, but technically it's over. You know.
Remy says, I've seen Alabama do it with 2 losses, but once again, it was a top 5, 10 teams.
Correct. So I got to remember.
Clemson might lose a game or 2. I agree with that, Remy. And also it is Alabama, so you're always going to give them the more benefit of doubt than any other team.
It's not only that, you can lose to another couple, highly ranked SEC teams and still find your way back up there. Yeah. But you're not going to lose when you're losing to a team in the Sun Belt. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
No. Again, it was frustrating for me because we had really good seats.
I've seen that, right? I wish I grabbed the photos so everybody else can see it. Maybe I'll show them next podcast or something. But
I have them with me. But I mean, yeah. But we had really, you could see the interior of the Notre Dame offensive line. You push around most of the game.
No, I agree with that. Actually, I'm gonna still try to put it up there. But go ahead, Ray. Keep talking.
I mean, Tyler Buckner. Again, I don't want to kill the kid because it was about him developing, getting better this year because he is still a young guy starting his first game season as a starting quarterback, at a big program, but he didn't play well. He ran the ball well. He was just a good athlete. But throwing the ball, he had 2 plays where guys were wide open. He didn't even get the ball close to them. He had a pick in the first half that was horrible. Then basically he had a pick at the end for a touchdown to seal the game against him. So, I mean, again, I don't want to kill the kid because I think he's a talented athlete. But I was talking to my son and I was like, dude, I mean, he got really upset with me. I'm like, dude, I would think about pulling him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Ryan was right. He's like, well, who are you going to put in? Drew Pine? I'm like, no, and he was right about that. Like, Drew Pine is not the answer either. But when you have a guy who's throwing the ball to the other team, I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Again, and he missed 2 guys wide open that could have been for a big first down, and one could have been for a touchdown, and he missed it. And the one was a miscommunication where the wide receiver did an out, and I guess it was supposed to be like some kind of adjustment where, that he threw an out and the wide receiver ran open deep, and he was wide open. And again, miscommunication, a young quarterback, I get it, but it doesn't when I'm looking at it on the field and I see the guy wide open, and then you throw the ball like not even close to him. It's like, yeah, it's really nice to say, oh yeah, it was miscommunication. It was, but it's like, okay, well, if he holds the ball a second longer and waits for the guy to break open, then it's a touchdown.
Yeah, so. No, definitely. Just to go back on some of the comments, Don, we will definitely get back to your comment. Once at the end of the podcast, we like to do our pick 'em, so we do it at the end. Remy says this past week was set up for upsets. I agree. Texas let Alabama off the hook, and then imagine being a top recruit and committing to A&M and watching them lose to Appalachian State. We will definitely talk about those in a second, guys. But I do want to show you this. So this is where Ray was on Saturday, and this is the seats. Really good seats. Unfortunate that you guys lost.
Like you see, they threw it. I'm going to point to the left here. I mean, you can't see where I'm pointing right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say nah, it's not going to work for me. If you look at the screen,
yeah,
to the left there, inside the 10, 15-yard line, there was a guy wide open, and Buckner throws an out right over here towards the Marshall sideline, and the guy's wide open. But again, miscommunication, young player, didn't work. And then anybody to watch the game, he threw an interception up here, on the Notre Dame side of the field, about 30, 40 yards, and the cornerback jumped the route. again, man, I hate killing young kids. I do. I don't want to kill Tyler Buchner.
Correct.
He just didn't play well. I mean, let's face it. He ran the ball well, but he didn't throw the ball well. And you know how I feel about guys that don't throw the ball well in their quarterback. So, you know.
So, Don says nice seats. They definitely were nice seats.
They were really good seats, man. It was really, you know what's funny? We were talking about on the way back, and Lois, my wife, said to me, well, how was the game? I said, well, or how was the tailgate? Because the guy, Brian, his mom, dude, the food was ridiculously good.
Oh, yeah?
Free drinks.
You got man.
The tailgate was the highlight of the day, though.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people around. It was awesome. And then you get ready and you're like pumped for the game, and then
Notre Dame does that.
The team played bad, man. Like I'm starting to feel like I'm jinxing them every time I go. They play bad.
Yeah. To kind of put on that, I was telling one of my ex-coworkers, and he was like, maybe next time you go to a game, maybe you should wear the opposite team's jersey. Just wanted to let you know he said that.
Well, I'm going to let people know, like, this is what I don't want to call people frauds that wear other people's gear, but I wear Dolphins gear and I wear Notre Dame's gear, and no other gear touches my skin. Okay, man, and that's all there is.
Amen.
I mean, I think it's funny. I watch the podcast with Juan. Juan has more jerseys than I have shirts, I think, man.
Yo, Juan got every NFL jersey that exists right now.
To me, that's a little fraudulent, but again, that's me, you know.
Right, he's a Jets fan. I mean,
well, again, if I were, I don't, you know how I feel about the Jets and how I feel about New York in general. We had a nice conversation before we got on our podcast. I mean, I wear Jets gear. Somebody gave me free Jets gear. It's been sitting in the back of my truck for 2 years. I keep trying to give it away to somebody. Nobody wants it. Because it's funny. The Jets are that team. When they're not good, their fans are like, where are they? Where are they? Do they even exist? Do they
have a whole conversation on that, Ray? But I'll say that for after podcast. All
right, then.
We'll stay all day about that. But what was I about to say? I was about to say something. Last question about Notre Dame though. I knew that you were like, not that you were all head and heels about Drew Pine, but if I'm not mistaken, you wanted to look into Drew Pine. Maybe this might be a blessing in disguise. Maybe you be able to see how he does. Is that what I remember? I thought you said you like Drew Pine better than what's his name? Buchanan.
I've seen him play more. I don't like upside. Tyler Buchner's a 6'2" athletic kid with a decent arm. Drew Pine is a smaller version of me in bulk. So no, I don't think that he's the answer either. But
you're talking about the Jets.
yeah. Believe me. It's funny. I used to wear Dolphins gear a lot when I worked up in New Jersey. And I literally had somebody stop in the middle of Route 9, which is like one of the busiest streets you'll ever be on, just to call me an a-hole because I was wearing a Dolphin shirt.
I remember you telling me that story.
That was during the Dan Marino era, but I mean, I'm sorry. Like I feel really funny, stupid saying this because I have not won a Super Bowl. The Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl since the mid-'70s. But I'm sorry that the last time the Jets actually won anything, we were like first time we explored space. That's not my fault though. You know what I mean? Like really.
That's funny. Notre Dame is in rebuild. They're good by next year and year after. They do have some really good recruits coming in. They really do recruits. I always fear when a team is bombs the way they kind of are right now, you start losing some recruits. It happened to Michigan a few years ago. I would be very careful if I was Notre Dame, keep losing games, especially to teams like Marshall, because not only that they're losing games, but they're losing games with a new head coach. So, and he had a lot of hype coming in, but now they're gonna start. I don't know if they. I'm not saying gonna.
Oh, you already have people calling for his job.
Yeah, they're
calling for his job. They're calling for Tommy Rees to be fired. I'm not going to go there yet, but
shut it, Remy. Shut it.
I'm not going to go there yet because it's way too early for that. But I've not been impressed I mean, I haven't been. Honestly, I'm starting to wonder: is it that the coaching staff doesn't trust the offensive line? Because that would make sense.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to the next game because I know we can probably talk about Notre Dame all day.
Nah.
Let's get to our next game, and this is the other game, highlight game that we're gonna talk about. Alabama survives Texas, man. That game was crazy. I didn't get to watch the game live. I was following it on my phone while I was working, actually. And I was like, Texas is winning Alabama. But then I looked at the score. I was like, oh, it's too close. It's too close.
Yeah.
Texas was up 13-10 in the third quarter. And then into the fourth quarter, there was actually 13-10. And I was like, wow, Texas have a chance. I think they had like almost like 8 to 5 minutes left or something like that. Look at the score again, and Texas left. Texas was on the field 19 to 17. And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they kicked that field goal, and Alabama wins by 1 point. Ray, what was your assessment on that game, man?
I mean, like you said, Texas played really well. Alabama didn't let the game slip away. And it's funny, some of the Notre Dame fans that were around me were talking about that game. And I'm like, dude, do you see how we're playing? Why are we worried about Alabama and Texas? And now that the outcome was what it was, I'm like, boy, we were busting on Alabama. A 2019 win for us would look really, really nice right now. So, I mean, again, I don't worry about other teams as much as I worry about Notre Dame. Of course, well, what we do here, we're kind of like supposed to follow the games. It was hard for me because I wasn't able to watch most of the games this week. Yeah. I did watch some highlights, and I kind of got.
You was at Notre Dame, and you watched that game, and you had to move from there. You don't live.
I will say this though. I mean, obviously, this season's not going to be good, and what bothers me is we had the kid's first name escaped me. Love, he's a running back. He was in the stands watching the game, and that was not good. Ooh. Because you're recruiting a running back, and then that running back watched that offensive line was probably not a good situation for us.
Ooh, see, that's the part I worry about.
Correct.
If I can remember the kid's name, I'll try to, but I don't remember it.
Is it Julian Love? I think maybe
Julian Love. Julian Love is you said quarterback or running back?
Running back.
Oh, Julian Love is the quarterback. He actually lives down here. He's 2025 or 6 or something like that.
I can't remember his first name. I'm sure
he had curly hair.
He does.
That's Julian Love. He's a quarterback. Pretty sure that's who you're talking about. Actually, I can actually look that up because he goes by Juju. Let me see if I can find it. I'll definitely see if that was him. But yeah, there you go, Julian Lewis. We say Julian Love.
Yeah, his last name was Jeffrey Love. I just don't remember his first name. Well, anyway, I'm gonna say this though. Like, obviously, this season's not going to turn out the way I wanted it to, for sure. Mm-hmm. But if you're a Notre Dame fan and you ever get a chance to go to the stadium, do it. I mean, if you're like, I talk about, like, I'm not a super religious person, but I have my beliefs. And going to Notre Dame Stadium and looking at all the artifacts there, dude, is a religious experience for you. I mean, it's just amazing. It really is. I mean, I get as much enjoyment out of that because of like especially when I have a cousin Johnny who passed away earlier this year, who was also a big Notre Dame fan, and it was, I mean, just the fact that I lost him not that long ago, and I'm seeing these monuments and all this stuff, the history behind Notre Dame. For me, dude, even though we lost the game, just to go there and see that stuff was worth it. It really was, man.
No, I want to go there, and I don't even like Notre Dame, but I would love to go there and just check it out, man. It's definitely historic spot for real, especially in college football. Remy said, "Do you think Texas wins if Ewers was playing?" I do think they would have won. I do. He was playing very well before he got injured. Let me see if I can pull it up. 9 for 12, 134 yards before he got in. So
would have given him a better shot. I mean, honestly, I think that Texas, the fact that they really couldn't establish a really strong with Bijan Robinson, a good running game, that really kind of hurt them, I think.
Definitely. Notre Dame is not in upstate New York.
It's in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
He was lighting it up, man. Yeah, he was. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why they was talking about him as the number one recruit. He's showing it, but I do like Hurd though. Don't get me wrong. Card. He's a good quarterback. I do like him. But there's a difference between the two, and there's a reason why.
Texas defense played really well throughout most of the game. They had Bryce Young, who went 27 for 39, but only for 213 yards.
Yeah.
So really, they kind of like let him complete passes in front of them. They didn't hit any big plays. So, I think that was the game plan. And yeah, man, they almost pulled it off. I mean, let's face it. Alabama on paper is a much better team than Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is, The
fact that they went from getting almost 7 right before the half to getting 3 is getting nothing cost them. Yeah. To getting nothing cost them. Yeah. No, I agree, man. They should have scored right before that, and it didn't happen. So
I mean, we've seen Alabama do this before, where they just hang on and win a game they shouldn't have won. Usually, it's against an SEC opponent, though. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Texas is about to be an SEC opponent, so maybe
they are. And you know what?
Maybe they start treating them like an SEC team.
You know what? If you're Texas, you're feeling like not good, but you're feeling okay.
More confident.
Absolutely, you're a more confident team. You're like, wow, we hung with the big team in the SEC. I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. Alabama's one of them teams where they have the tendency to start slow for some reason, and then they pick it up,
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's get to the rest of the week, and let's talk about that. Before we do, I think we got a couple comments. He said Cart. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I think there is a reason why he's number 2. I wouldn't say he sucks. I'm not gonna say that. I think he's good though. He's solid for the backup. He was starter at one point. So usually it's like SSU or
A&M. Correct. Usually it's one of them other SEC teams that they kind of like struggle with a little bit, and then find their way by the end of the year. This year it just happened to be Texas. I mean, like, I would not want to be Alabama's team practicing this week because Nick Saban's going to crack the whip. He's not going to be a happy camper this week.
Not happy.
Even though they won, he's still not going to.
Oh yeah, exactly. Happy. No, that's that. In his mind, that's almost a loss. That's pretty much a loss.
It is.
All right, let's get to our next game, Ray. Appalachian State beats number 6 Texas A&M. Ray, we've been talking about Appalachian State a lot lately. Talking about how good they are. They really showed it in that game. Great defense, only holding King to 97 yards. Rushing, they only gave up 89 yards. So they clamped down on Texas A&M. Another team that you really thought there was really talented team and got a lot of good players on their team. What do you think happened in that game, Ray?
That was one of the games where I really only got to watch the highlights. I didn't really get to watch the game itself too much. Appalachian State is that one team, man. They play good football. We know that. They're a good team. They're well coached. They're always prepared. Mm-hmm. Texas A&M has a lot to prove. They have a lot of talent, but they're not playing to that talent right now.
So. Yeah. I'm starting to think it's Mike Leach, man. I'm starting to think it's him.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not. They're just
not working.
They're not playing well. I mean, like they just didn't play well. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, like honestly,
I think that was. I mean, I'm not gonna say that was the bigger surprise than Texas and Alabama, but it's one of the bigger surprises because I was just like,
I mean, Of course, because you have 2 Power 5 teams, and anything can happen against them teams. But when you have a team like Appalachian State going against one of the better programs in college football, I mean, you don't sort of expect them to win. You expect them to play well and hang in the game, but you didn't expect them to win. You know,
exactly. And it was rough going for them the entire game. I mean, they only started scoring in the third quarter, I believe, and then they got one field goal, and that was it. And like I said, those numbers, like you cannot win a game not reaching 300 yards at all, not even reaching 200 yards offensively. They had 186 total yards, right?
I wish I could see what time of possession was in the game. I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume that Appalachian State did a good job with that part of the game. You know,
I'm guessing. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at. I can find them. I can see it by drives, and let me just tell you through drive real quick. So, I can't see it in that way. Hold on, team stats. Let's see it this way. Let's see. Yeah, I'm only getting stats. Let's see, hold on. Appalachian drives. Here we go. Well, it's not telling me the total, but I can tell you by drives. So Appalachian State, 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 1.5, 6, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 6, 9, and almost 4.
So that's about half the game, though. It's not as much as I would have thought.
Yeah. And then
more like 35, 40 minutes to 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, because if you look at
almost 50-50, you know.
Yeah, if you look at Texas A&M, 2 minutes, and that was a punt. 1 minute drive, that was a fumble. 3 minute drive, that was a touchdown. That was their second longest possession. 2 minutes was ended in the punt. 30 seconds was ended in the punt. 2 minutes, 50 seconds ended in the punt. Minute 39 ended the fumble, and then their last drive was the most they had the ball. It was a field goal miss of 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, Appalachian State kept the ball in their hands, got turnovers when they needed to, and it looked like they had quick turnovers still because these drives are very short. So, I mean, they can't sustain it on the offense. And that's what Leach is there for, man. He's supposed to be there for the offense. He's an offensive coordinator. I mean, offensive coach, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that he only threw that's the thing that's surprising. He only threw the ball 20 times. That kind of surprises me.
Yeah. Because that was one of the criticisms we had of him last year about throwing the ball. He was throwing it way too much.
He was.
So that is very interesting. All right, let's get to our next game, right? Because we are kind of getting over there with some time. Let's see. I want to pick and choose because we don't got much time. Let me get to the comments real quick. Appalachian State is the truth. I do agree with that. They do have really good players on their team. They've been really good lately. Any others y'all like? We're definitely about to talk about that very soon, Don. Let's see. Let's do Penn State. I'm sorry. Tennessee and Pitt, and that'll be the last one we'll talk about. There were some other good games that we had on our schedule. We got a little carried away with some time, but Pitt and Tennessee, really close game. Let me find the score real quick, Ray. You have it on you?
I can get it for you right now. I mean, I know that was one of the games we kind of highlighted last week. It was an overtime game. Yeah. I believe that I told somebody they should take take Tennessee, given 6.5. So that was a winner. So that's always nice to know.
Yeah.
And
it was 34-27.
34-27.
34-27. Tennessee won the game in overtime, but with a touchdown.
Yep.
So Hooker, 27 for 42, so a lot of passing, 325 yards with 2 touchdowns. So Lovis was in the game. I believe he got injured. It looked like I didn't watch the game, so I don't know 100% know. But Slovis was in the game, 14 for 24, 195, a touchdown and an interception. Patty came in. He was 9 for 20, 79 yards and a touchdown. So I'm guessing Slovis got injured.
Slovis did get injured. That was one of the games where I got to watch like the second half.
Okay.
The Notre game had ended, and we went to a bar to get something to eat and have a couple of drinks, and we were watching that game like as we were in there.
Appreciate it, man.
I think the Tennessee is one of them teams where as long as their defense plays some football, which they didn't look great last week, it's going to be on them because I think their offense is okay and they're going to be good. I think we all know that Hooker is a good quarterback. He had a really good game.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting them to score points, and I didn't think their defense didn't play great though.
No. Defense didn't play great, and it was very minimal on offense. I mean, running the ball too. They ran actually a good amount. Hooker was their leading rusher as far as attempts, but they had Wright that had 9 attempts. They had Small that had Wright 10 attempts, and 2 other running backs that carried the ball once. But their averages are horrible. I mean, this one is Wright roughly had a little over 4 yards per attempt, so that's good for him. But Hooker didn't have that much, wasn't doing much on the ground, even though he was running the most. He only had 27 out for 15, which you shouldn't expect a quarterback to have a lot unless they like a running quarterback. And then in Smalls, he was only 1.7 yards per carry, and he had the second most running for the running backs. He did have 2 touchdowns, but the averages it wasn't that great. So running game wasn't that good, and they still pulled it out, man. You need to get that running game going, though.
Well, Cedric Tillman had a great game catching the ball. He caught what was it? He caught 9 balls for 160 yards, touchdown. I mean, he caught the ball. I mean, they threw the ball a lot, and they, like you said, they didn't run it a lot, and they didn't run it for a lot of yardage, but they did just enough to keep balance. You know what I mean? Like when they threw a ball downfield when they did throw it. So I think Tennessee is one of them teams. I think that really they could be like they can make some noise by the end of the year as long as they get something in from their defense.
Correct.
And Slovis definitely did get hurt because he was like limping around like the whole part of the game that I got to watch. He was in and out of the lineup, limping and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, we all know that I like him. So I think he's a good player. I mean, he was good last year at USC or 2 years ago at USC. Last year struggled a lot because their offensive line wasn't great. And this year he's been getting beat up so far. So we'll see.
Definitely. No, and I agree. I think that hopefully he can, stay healthy because they definitely need him. He's not a bad quarterback. I mean, we were talking about him. He might not. He was under the NFL radar for a little bit. He might not. I think he still go to the NFL. I don't think he's going to be high in the draft like we initially thought. But he's still a solid quarterback for at least college ranks, and they're going to need him in Pitt. And if he can't go, and I don't know if there's anything on that, I'm going to look real quick. But the Pitt definitely can't afford to lose again. So with disclosed injury at the end of the first half, and Patty spent the final quarter plus effectively twisting his knee and getting sacked. So it's like I don't know what's the deal with it. I haven't looked at the any of the news, but I mean they're gonna need him. So
they are.
That.
For
All
sure.
right, man. Let's get into our pick'ems, man. Let's get into our week 3 predictions. But let's talk about our record. Ray, how you think we did last week? Were you paying attention to?
I did not get to see every game I picked. I think I did okay. I don't think I did great. I think I did okay.
We actually tied.
Okay.
So we were both 9-4. So we both did well.
Right.
We both had Arkansas. We both had Wake. We both had Texas A&M. which we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We both had Tennessee, which is good. We both had Iowa, which they lost to Iowa State, which kind of surprised me. I had Texas Tech. You had Houston. I got that one. We both had Illinois. They both won. We both had Florida. They lost to Tennessee, Kentucky. We both had Virginia Tech. You had BYU. I had Baylor. That was a good game, actually.
Yeah.
So I think we were talking about that too. That was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Oregon State, we both had that. Mississippi State, we both had that. And K-State, we both had that. So final records right now, I'm still up by 4 games, and I am nervous. I am not like that cushion. I am nervous. Ray slaughtered me the last couple of years. I'm trying to stay up there in the rankings, but nervous. So we're gonna get into it today. So let's do the predictions. I know that's what everybody's waiting for, especially my man Don. So let's get right into it, Ray. Let's do it. FSU is playing. I was about to say Illinois. They are playing Louisville this week. Who you got there, Ray?
I got Florida State.
I'm going Florida State as well.
Yeah.
I think Florida State is like they starting to impress me. I want to see the line real quick because you guys know
Florida
how it is.
Is giving 2.5.
Yep, that's what I got.
Yeah, I believe the game
and they're away.
And the game's in Louisville, so yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with that. I'm glad the line didn't move that much since Monday. But yeah, I just wrote myself as Louisville. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm taking FSU though. I'm taking FSU as well.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with them. I really want to see how they do down there. And save their coach's life, man, because he's been on a hot seat the last couple of years. I think he did good the first 2 games. Definitely want to see that right out. But I think there's gonna be an interesting game. That one's actually on a Friday, which is kind of a weird game. I won't be able to see it. I'll be covering some high school games, but I think that's a cool game to watch if you are going to be able to watch that. Syracuse versus Purdue. Syracuse is favored by 1 at home. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm going to take Purdue. I mean, I would like to stay on that Syracuse bandwagon because I do like their coach. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's a good, solid coach. But I think Purdue's a little more physical of a team, so I'll take Purdue.
I'm glad this line is the way it is because I'm a little conflicted on it. Let me see what Don says. Let's go. Great picks from both of y'all. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Louisville defense is trash.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'm conflicted with this one. I do like some players on Syracuse. So I think I might be a little biased on some of it, but I think I am going to go Purdue as well. Honestly, even though they're
looking like a Big Ten fan. I got you.
Hey, I watched Big Ten more than anybody else, so I can't.
Do you even get Big Ten games down there?
I don't. Okay. I do get.
I wasn't sure about that.
Big Ten, I do have a Big Ten network though. Okay. I had to pay for that, so
I was wondering about that. To be honest with you.
Oh, dude, it's all ACC down here. It's all ACC down here.
Of course,
you guys don't know I'm in Atlanta, so
it's funny. Like we used to have this big argument like the last few years about what is the better conference, and of course I've always said it's SEC. But if I couldn't watch the Big Ten, I'd be really, really frustrated by it because as much as I think that overall the SEC is a better conference, I do enjoy watching Big Ten football.
Yeah, I do too. Like even like outside of my team, who's the Michigan. I mean, I just love watching Big Ten for whatever reason. It just
I grew up on it.
I like I that too. I just like the grittiness. Like I love the ACC, and don't get me wrong, I do enjoy watching, especially if it's a good matchup. But like for the most part, they be dominating everybody outside the SEC. So
I will not say I love the SEC. I respect the SEC.
I like it.
My dad is a big Big Ten fan. He was a Penn State fan. So I grew up in this area, so I do enjoy watching Big Ten football.
Yeah.
If I couldn't watch it like every week, I'd be a little disappointed. But I mean, again, I don't like the SEC. That's the thing that for people that like want to argue with me about the SEC, I would rather the Big Ten were a better conference, but it's just not. That's all.
No, I agree. Okay. All right, let's get to our next game. That will be your team, Notre Dame versus Cal. The line actually moved in y'all guys' favor. You are on home. Cal is 2-0. You guys are 0-2. Who you taking, Ray?
I'm taking Notre Dame. I mean, they're 10-point favorites. If they don't win this game, then the season's over. It becomes all new meaning then. But I mean, if they don't win that, because I hear, oh well, it's not about this, and like, man, it's hard after a loss like that for me to even watch any podcast about Notre Dame.
You guys
lie about it, but I mean,
you guys lose to Cal, y'all gonna literally have to run the table for the rest of the season, because if not, y'all, I hate to say it, y'all gonna lose recruits, man. To Cal, and I can't like sustain like the rest of the because you know how people are.
No.
Like, we're recency bias, so like if you guys lose to Cal and then run the table, I think y'all be fine.
I mean,
but
2 weeks.
Cal and a couple of games after that, or 1 or 2 games.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about competing with Ohio State and maybe making some noise for a national title. And now we're talking about if we beat Cal. I mean,
yeah,
that speaks for itself, right?
That's harsh. Yeah, no, you're right. Dude, we were just talking about how it was number 8 in the rankings, and it should have been higher.
We started 5, and then went to 8.
Yeah, you're right. They started 5.
And then after we lost Ohio State, they dropped us to 8. And now we're at 40, like you said. And honestly, Jerome, like, again, I would love to say that we shouldn't be ranked that low. But, yeah, man, I watched my offensive line get manhandled by Sunbelt team. So it is what it is.
I don't think I've seen a team drop so hard in my life. I'm not going to lie.
Nah.
That's a 30.
Well, here's the thing. We all know that people hate Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We know that.
I hate Notre Dame too, but I'll be fair. Like, that's a big.
No, Jerome. Here's the difference. I dislike Michigan. You dislike Notre Dame.
Correct.
I hate is reserved for Ohio State, USC, SEC teams. I reserve those for those teams, dude.
Okay, I agree with that.
But yeah, man, it's hard for me to sit here and say we don't deserve to drop like a rock, because we do. I mean, because again, you could put earrings on a pig, still a pig.
Sure.
Lipstick on a pig.
I was talking to somebody about y'all losing, and I was just like, man, y'all gonna be like 24-25, and then the ranks came out, and I'm like, where's Notre Dame? And then I look all the way at the bottom. You know, like at the bottom it said the others, and I see Notre Dame 40. I was like, whoa!
Bro, we lost to a Sunbelt team.
I understand that, but Marshall's pretty good. I mean,
they are good. No, they are a good team.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? For one, all this stuff comes from SEC teams. Yeah. They always think they're the best, and they annoy the heck out of me. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. I mean, again, yeah, man. When you play like that, you got to take your lumps. I'm taking them.
I agree. All right, next game. Let's get to BYU versus Oregon. Oregon is ranked 25. BYU is ranked 12. BYU is undefeated. Oregon lost their first game, obviously, to Clemson. No, who did they lose to their first game? I forget. Anyway. Their favorite right now at home by 3.5, which pretty much is a pick 'em. Ray, who you got?
You know what, Jerome? I want to take Oregon. Oregon is the favorite by 3.5. But you know what?
That's a good game.
That is going to be a good game. I almost want to say if BYU can control the clock, they can win the game. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go with Oregon because they're still favored by 3.5.
Right. I'm so mad you did that. I was going to pick Oregon too, just because they're at home. Literally, just because they're at home.
It's just simple, dude. I don't let my emotions get involved.
No, I hear you.
I look at the line, whatever the line dictates to me. Like, just so we know, like, I know people don't care, but like every week I play a pool for NFL teams, and I do the same thing. I look at the line, whatever the line tells me, I go with the line. Last year I won $2,000. The year before that I won $2,400. This year I won the first week for $250. So I look at the line. I don't let my emotions get involved. It's about making money. It's not about emotions. You know what emotions I like? When I wouldn't put that money in my pocket. That's a great emotion, brother. Okay?
Ray is funny. Ray is hilarious. All right, let's get to our next game. Let's put some more money in you guys' pockets then. We're going to do Penn State versus Auburn. I cannot find that game on here.
I have Penn State favored by 3
at home.
Yeah, they're at home. That's a close game. I'm going to go with Penn State because again, I think they're the more physical team. I'm not going to lie for people that are Penn State fan. James Franklin is not a good game coach. He's just not. He's a good, solid recruiter, but he's not. That's what I'm talking about, Don. That's right, man. That should be Don Pay money. Exactly, Robert.
Don Pay me.
No, I think Penn State is a more physical team. And I talk to a lot. Well, you know, I live here. I talk to a lot of Penn State fans. And every time I say James Franklin's not a good coach, they're like, well, no, he's good. No, he's good. No, he's a good recruiter. He's not a good coach, especially game day. He's a bad coach.
He do make some questions, especially last year. Oh my God, he was making
don't say he makes questionable decisions, dude. Because that's like saying again, a pig is a pig. I mean, like this guy's a horrible game coach.
By the way, Auburn's the one that's at home. By the way, but Penn State is favored by.
Yeah, Auburn's at home, and Penn State's favored by. That tells me. No, that tells me that Penn State's probably going to win the game.
Right. You know how I feel about this game because
you hate Penn State. I got you.
Huh?
You hate Penn State. I know.
No, I actually don't hate Penn State.
Oh, okay.
I think I told you that. I don't hate Penn State. The issue is I don't like their quarterback. His last game he did play very well.
He actually played pretty well the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
I'll give Clifford that. He's played well the first 2 games of the season. I still don't think he's a good quarterback, though.
No.
And you know what? I hate to say this. If I were being straight biased, I would go with Penn State. But I'm going to go with Penn State because they're giving 3 points. And I'm not, I do not like LSU, obviously.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Penn State as well. They're playing pretty well right now. I think we got a pretty talented roster as well. Even though they're at home, it's a close line.
Yeah.
I will pick them. Auburn's doing well. 2-0 as well. Doing well. Auburn still got a lot to kind of prove to me, though. So I'm going to
I agree. They haven't really played great so far, but I think they're an okay team.
Yeah.
I'll take the more. Usually, if it's a close game, talent-wise, I take the more physical team.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly.
I'm taking them now. Even though I can't stand that man Clifford. I can't.
No, but I don't like him either.
All right, let's get to our next game. Mississippi State versus LSU. Who you got, Ray?
You know what? This is a tough game for me to do. Do you know who's home in this game? Because I don't know that.
LSU's home.
LSU is home. So you know what? I'm taking Mississippi State then because they're getting 2 points.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. LSU been disappointing me the last 2-3 years. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same, Ray. I'm going the same route. We're picking the same teams again, Ray.
We are. You're
right.
picking the same teams because I'm picking first. So.
Tell it. All right, let's get to our next game. And then once we're almost done, Don, and we'll get to your picks as well. 2-0 Texas Tech versus NC State. 2-0. Ray, who you got there? NC State is favored by 10. That moves that.
Then you already know who I'm picking, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. All
right. I don't like that line. I mean, I like it in a sense where it might actually go, but Dak, man, the line was a lot closer on Monday. It moved a lot. I'm kind of curious why, because it was definitely a closer game. Trying to see if I can see that now. But you know how I feel about Texas Tech? I feel like Texas Tech is underrated. They have a lot of good talent on their team. and they had a good game last week. I'm gonna still go NC State. I mean, I can't deteriorate from it. But this will be a game that I would not be surprised Texas Tech wins. I'm just saying that. So you both get that one wrong.
Jerome, if we get both of them wrong, dude, I'll get a pack 6 and send it to Georgia for you. Okay. Come on. They may not cover that line, but they're not gonna lose a game.
Yeah. No, NC State's good too. Don't get me wrong.
They are.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our next game. Michigan State versus Washington. I feel like that game probably got changed to that line. Where is it? Oh no, it's still the same. Washington is favored by 3.5. Michigan State is 2-0. If I'm not mistaken, they had a very close game last week. They could have almost wrong.
I don't remember who they played, but they definitely had a tough game last week.
Yeah, it's pretty much a pick 'em. Washington is home.
You know what? Man, that's a hard game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Washington favored by 3 in that game also?
Yeah, 3.5.
You know what? I'm going to take Washington. If I had to play the game, I will play Michigan State to cover the 3.5. But I'm going to take Washington to win the game because they're home. So.
See, right. I was kind of hoping you said Michigan State because I kind of want to go against you in this game. I really do.
Plus, you hate Michigan State.
I hate Michigan State. That's the thing. Now I didn't want to pick Michigan.
Really?
So now I
never thought about that.
I hate Michigan State. I'm gonna take Michigan State though. I am. Just because I want to. I see. This is my theory before the game started. So though, I mean the season started, is that I wanted to see how Michigan State plays without Walker, because again, Walker was a big part of their offense last year, and they lost him last year. Kenneth Walker, who's now playing for Seahawks, and they are 2-0, but it's not really a pretty 2-0. Washington, who always have a good roster, I don't know how good they are yet. I mean, again, it's early in the season. This could be the game that lets me know about both teams. I'm just gonna say that with this. This game's gonna tell me about these two teams a lot. So, I am excited to watch the game. I think that's gonna be a good game. I really do. But yeah, I really couldn't choose, honestly. So that's why I was like, all right, whatever Ray picks, I'm gonna do the opposite just to switch it up. But I think they're honestly, I do think they're pretty evenly matched, honestly. So
I do. I think that and usually I would take the more. Usually I would always think a Big Ten team would be more physical, but I don't think that's the case here. I think Washington is pretty good up front, and I think that that's going to be a really. I would not bet that game at all.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, Washington will probably hold out. So.
And it's the game that I'm hoping I'm wrong. So I don't like Michigan State. I just right. Anyway, let's get to our next. All right, we got 3 more, and then we got you, Don. We got you. Miami versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M coming off that horrible loss. Miami's on pretty much fire right now. Let me see what's the line. Texas A&M is still favored by 5.5 at home against Miami's 2-0. Who you taking?
I'm taking Texas A&M. I think that Miami is a up and coming team, but I think they're going to come down to earth a little bit this week. I do. So,
I think I'm gonna go Miami in this one, right? I don't like how Texas A&M is playing right now. I don't like the fact. I can be wrong on this one, but I don't like how Texas A&M is playing right now. The fact that they got so much talent on the team and they're playing like that tell me a lot about their coaching. I'm not gonna lie, like that's just coaching for me. And I think Miami is, playing a lot better than lately. So let me see if there's a reason why that's so close to. I mean, Miami is ranked number 13. Texas A&M's 24. Let's see how the stats look. Van Dyke is their quarterback. They got a better quarterback. Texas A&M got King and Johnson. Running backs are a lot better. Miami's last game, they went crazy on the ground. Actually, they had a really balanced team last week. So, um, yeah, I'm just gonna go with that for now.
Okay.
Miami.
Yep.
So, all right, last two. Texas A&M. I'm sorry, Texas A&M. SMU. Sorry, SMU versus Miami. And I think
Maryland.
Maryland. Sorry, Maryland and Maryland's home. They're favored by 2.5. Who you taking there, Ray?
I'm going to take Maryland. I have 3.5 on my line, but I'm going to take Maryland. I think the Terps are a good team. I think that their quarterback is, of course, to his brother,
Yeah,
and he's an exciting athlete. I don't know if he's a great quarterback, but he's an exciting athlete.
mm-hmm.
I'll take Maryland. Maryland is one of them teams that are like kind of like Temple. I kind of root for them, even though I probably shouldn't, but I do anyway. So
Yeah, I'm taking Maryland as well. I like Tua. They got good weapons out there, and
they do.
um, not sure about their defense. Defense is okay. But I think SMU don't have enough firepower on offense to make their
They
defense work.
don't. They're not a good offensive team.
Yeah.
The defense is okay, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
I just think Maryland's I think they're a more physical team, so I'll take them.
Definitely. I agree. All right. Last one is Indiana versus West Kentucky. Ray, you got?
I got Indiana.
Same here. I'm trying
I'm going
to
to go with the more physical again, the more physical team, better team up front. I mean, I don't go for the frilly flowers. I go for the meat, so and the potatoes. So
No, I hear that. Where is it?
6-point line.
You got 6 point?
Yeah, I think Western Kentucky is at home in that game.
I think that moved.
Yeah.
I got 6.5. Indiana's home. Yeah, that one moved. Definitely moved. It didn't move a lot, but it definitely moved.
Yeah, I'll take the more physical team. I think that Indiana will win. It's funny, they played really well their first week. I didn't see them play last week. I don't know how well they played. So
Definitely. Is Maryland plus money, guys?
I would think so.
Yeah. Great.
I would definitely think so.
FSU, Penn State, and Maryland. I need one more game. Ray, you want to give him a game?
I'm going to give him. I don't have every game in front of me, but I'm going to take Penn State -3 against Auburn. I like Penn State. I think again they're a more physical team. I think Auburn is a little bit of a fraud team. They're getting by on the fact that they're an SEC team. People just assume they're going to be good, and they're really not good. So
Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, let's get to some of the other games that he had on here. Let's see. UTSA versus Texas. Would you take them plus 2.5 versus Texas?
I would not.
Yeah,
I think Texas is going to come out and try to make a statement that last week was not a fluke.
Yeah,
I would not touch that game either. I mean, if I was going to bet it, I would go with Texas. To be honest with you,
definitely. We talked about this game already. Where's the other ones? To see what else you had on here. I believe he had one more. Don, there it is. I got it. Nevada, 2.5 plus over Iowa. Should I take the points or Nevada? Take the points and Nevada. Sorry.
Wow, that's very hard because Iowa is obviously a better program usually.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't take either one. It's just a lot of points to give up for a team that really is not. Iowa's not a great team this year.
Yeah.
I would probably take Nevada and the 23.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody said to me, "Do you like the game?" I would say no.
Yeah.
But If I was going to play the game, I would take the 23. You know,
definitely. All right, well, that is gonna do it for us today, guys. Thank you all for coming in. Don, we do appreciate you being in. Remy, guys, as always. If you want to be on here live with your comments and everything like that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, right? Showing where to point it. Put them at it right there. There you go.
Just me come from the other side.
Over there.
Yep.
Right in that corner right there. Hit that QR code. You can find all our social media on there. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and our YouTube channel, which we're live on now. We are also live on Twitter and Facebook, so you can check us out on there as well. But go to the YouTube channel so you know when we live, because it gives you notifications on there, and it supports us when you hit that like and subscribe, so other people and other college football fans can come in and watch, and they can put their comments in here as well. So, guys, thank you so much for checking us out, man. I think before we get off, what do you think about this week, man? What do you think about this week?
I think that there's some interesting games. I don't think there's still a lot of fluff games where high point spreads. I'm not crazy about it. I mean, of course, people are like, well, aren't you anxious to see Notre Dame win a game? Of course, but beating up on Cal doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? I mean, I honestly, Jerome, usually by now I'm up to my neck in Notre Dame podcast, but I have not listened to anything this week.
After losing something like that, I understand.
It's tough, man. I mean, I don't, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to have people hating Notre Dame, and then you're going to have the people that cover Notre Dame that are telling you, "Oh, well, this is what we got to do for this." And if Tyler Buckner wouldn't have gotten hurt, I'd have been like, "Yeah, let's just improve, watch the offensive line get better, and watch him develop into what we hope will be a good quarterback." The fact that he's hurt now. It's a real damper on it for me, to be honest with you.
No, it is. It is. That's like salt into an injury already, you know? So
it's like he made a nice run, to get a first down, and then he gets hurt, and it's like, man, I'm like, wow, that was very deflating. I think
go ahead. Yeah. No, I as you were talking, I'm sorry, I was just kind of looking at some of the games. There's a game that kind of stood out to me. So, North Dakota State is playing Arizona. I'm interested. I don't see North Dakota State play at SBS games that much. So I'm curious to say, I mean, it's not like a world-beating team, but I want to see how the competition level on there. It doesn't have a spread on here, at least right now. So it is a late Saturday night game, so maybe they put it on here late. I don't know if you have that one, but I'm interested how that one goes and what they think about this game, because North Dakota State has always been a dominant.
They're a dominant SES team for sure.
Yeah,
I would probably take them in that game, to be honest with you. I think they're a competitive team.
Yeah,
and the one thing you know about them is they're going to be really prepared and very well coached. So,
oh, definitely. I'm interested. I'm going to try to watch that game. It's a late night game, but that's going to be interesting to see them, play against some of these.
You know how I feel about late night college football games, those years.
You love them.
That's my thing, man.
Yeah.
I love watching. I know I'm going to sound like a recluse or I love watching games by myself, dude. I do. I love it.
Yeah.
No one bothering me. No one's going to no calls, no texts, no work, no nothing. Just me and football. Love it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, definitely. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Hope y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy your college football. Enjoy your NFL football. I know a lot of you guys are doing your fancy thing. Me and Ray's on the fancy league. I want to know, how you doing, Ray? Did you win?
I won my first game.
Let's go. We're undefeated.
Jerome, I like my team this year. I really do.
I like your team too, Ray. Actually,
it's pretty solid. Everybody has some holes when you're drafting for 14 teams. 14 or 12 do we have? 14, 12,
right? 12. The reason why it's like that is because we got extra bench spots than normal.
And that's fine. I don't mind that. And I remember listening to what is the guy that did the show with you? I forget his name.
I'm about to say Chris, not Chris, Sam.
Sam. I like Sam. You guys do a really good job as we're going through the draft process. The one thing he said about what's his name, the wide receiver that Parker, that went from Miami to New England. That was a trade. It was not a free agent acquisition. So that tells you what Miami thinks about Devontae Parker, that they traded him in the division.
That's true.
Okay, so again, I like Devontae Parker. He is a really good football player when he's on the field. The last part of that phrase is the problem there.
Question: would you take Vanderbilt money line over?
I would. Illinois is a fraud. Illinois is a fraud team. Anytime you can bet against Illinois, go for it, brother.
North Illinois, different team.
They're a fraud team. Vanderbilt actually plays good defense, so I'll take them.
They do.
So I'll take that.
You're good, Don. Thanks you for your questions, man. I appreciate you always getting on and showing your support. Interesting, man. We're gonna. I wish we could talk some fancy too, man. You know, me and Ray could literally have a whole 4-hour, 5-hour podcast right now. I'm the one that be pitting a little on us because I know we try to keep it light for you guys, keep it around an hour-ish for you guys. But me and him could literally be on here. We be after our podcast, we be talking for on another hour. So we love talking football. We love being with you guys. We love having you guys, man. So definitely try to show some support, man. Like and subscribe. Be on there. We on here every week. Try to make it every Wednesday as much as possible. Make it fun and stuff like that. Try to do these, do little fun competitions between me and Ray with our predictions. But thank you guys once again. We appreciate y'all getting on. Hope y'all have a great one. Enjoy your college football this week and NFL football and high school football if you're into that. I know I am. So make sure y'all do your thing, man. Peace out. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.